Ever find yourself, I don't know, like just staring at a gemstone?
Yeah.
It's like the way they sparkle, it's kind of mesmerizing.
Yeah.
But have you ever thought about like where they come from?
Right.
Like how they go from just a plain old rock to, this dazzling jewel.
Yeah.
So today we are going deep, deep, deep into the world of, well, the people who actually do that, the precious stone cutters.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to tell you, after going through this RoleCatcher Career Guide,
Yeah.
it is way more complicated than I ever would have thought.
Yeah, it really is.
Like way more.
It's fascinating. It's a really interesting blend of artistry and technical skill. I mean, it's like you're taking something that's essentially raw, untamed,
Yeah.
and you're bringing out this this hidden beauty through, this really precise cutting technique.
It's like they're revealing a secret,
Exactly.
like a hidden masterpiece or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And speaking of that, the guide really made a big deal about how it's not like you just like grab a stone and start whacking away at it.
Right.
There's like actual diagrams and patterns involved.
Absolutely.
Almost like a code or something.
Yeah.
To get those cuts exactly right so that you're getting the most out of the gemstone.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Every facet, every angle, it's all meticulously calculated to really maximize the stone's brilliance, its fire. So it's this really delicate balance between following these kind of established guidelines and then also understanding the unique personality of each stone.
Well, that's interesting. So you're saying that every stone kind of like has its own, I don't know, personality, its own like quirks.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's where it gets really interesting, right? Because the guide mentioned that even with like all the technology we have now, like lasers and stuff, the human eye, the human hand, it's still like irreplaceable.
It really is. You just can't automate the kind of artistry and the experience that it takes to judge these really subtle nuances in the stones.
Like you can't teach a computer that, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
So think about this, though, just a tiny miscalculation.
We're talking like a fraction of a millimeter, and it can totally change like the whole value of the stone.
Exactly.
It's a high stakes profession for sure.
Yeah.
I was reading about the Hope Diamond a while back, and like they think it came from India like hundreds of years ago.
Oh, wow.
Passed through all these different hands.
Right.
Some of the stories are kind of crazy, actually.
Oh, really?
But imagine, right? If one of those cutters, way back when, like, if they didn't really get how to bring out the best in that diamond.
Right.
Like, it might never have become, this legendary thing.
That's a really good point. It just speaks to the legacy that these artisans carry with them.
Yeah.
And speaking of legacy, the guide also talked about the tools,
Oh, yeah, the tools, right.
which haven't actually changed all that much over time. Even with all the modern advancements, those core tools, you've got the cutting machines, the saws, the grinders, they still require a skilled hand to operate. So it's not just about having this like artistic vision.
Right.
It's about being able to use those tools
Exactly, yeah.
to bring that vision to life.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets me thinking, like, how do you even get started in something like that? The guide talked about apprenticeships, which, makes sense, but like, what does that even look like today?
Yeah, apprenticeships, they're still like the way to go in this field, like the gold standard.
Interesting.
It's all about learning from a master cutter, and not just like the technical stuff, but also like the intuition.
Into it.
Like the ability to just like look at a stone and see what it can be.
So it's almost like a language they have, like
Yeah.
between the artisan and
Yeah.
the gemstone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It really is about developing like a feel for the material, understanding how different gemstones, they react differently to different techniques.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it's not even just about the cutting itself, right? Apprentices, they learn about identifying gemstones, how to grade them, even like the business side of things.
So it's like a whole education
It is.
in gemstones,
Yeah.
basically.
It is, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
A good apprenticeship, it's going to prepare you for everything from picking out the rough stones to like selling those finished pieces.
And what about like moving up in the field? Like once you've done your apprenticeship, you've learned the ropes, what's next? The guide mentioned specialization, but I'm curious, what does that look like in reality?
Well, that's where things get really, really interesting. Some cutters, they become known for like a certain type of gemstone,
Oh, okay.
right? They might become like, the diamond cutter, the one everybody goes to because they're so precise. Their artistry with diamonds is just like next level. Or they could become like an emerald whisperer.
An emerald whisperer.
Yeah, someone who just like understands those green gems like nobody's business.
Well, that's fascinating. So it's almost like certain chefs, right? They're known for their signature dishes.
Right.
But in this case, it's signature cuts.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Others, they might take their knowledge and become jewelry designers,
Right.
using that deep understanding of gemstones to make these really unique, really stunning pieces.
So you go from shaping the stones to like shaping the whole piece of jewelry.
It's true.
That's amazing. Like what a creative leap.
It is. It is. Some even end up working in like gemology labs.
Oh, wow.
Or auction houses because their eye, right? Their trained eye.
Yeah.
It's so valuable for like evaluating these stones, authenticating them.
They can spot a fake a mile away.
Exactly.
So many possibilities. And with technology always changing, I bet there's like even more stuff opening up, right?
Absolutely.
All the time.
Yeah. We're seeing more and more like this crossover happening between the traditional craftsmanship and these cutting edge technologies.
The guide mentioned RoleCatcher's platform, how it actually uses AI to help people find jobs.
Yeah.
Even in fields like gemstone cutting, which, is pretty amazing
It is.
to think about. So what are your thoughts on that? Like, how is technology changing things for people who wanna get into this field?
It really is amazing when you think about it, like using tech to connect something as old as, this craft with like finding a job today.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It is. And RoleCatcher, it's like a perfect example of that. Their platform, it actually analyzes job descriptions using AI to like figure out exactly what skills those employers are looking for.
Oh, wow.
So in a field like gemstone cutting, which is, pretty niche, that kind of like targeted info, it can be huge. It's like having a secret weapon or something.
Right. Yeah.
To make your application stand out.
Exactly.
From the stack. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not just about applying, right? Remember we were talking about like how important the interview is?
Yeah.
RoleCatcher, they actually offer these AI-powered practice interviews.
Wow.
Yeah, where you do the interview, and then it gives you feedback.
Oh, wow.
On your answers.
So it's like having a coach in your pocket, basically.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It's like having a personal coach helping you, like perfect your pitch, get that confidence up.
That seems like that could be a game changer.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially for someone just starting out.
For sure. It really helps to like level the playing field, and it makes, these really specialized fields, it makes them more accessible to a wider range of people.
This whole deep dive has been fascinating, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's been fun.
We've gone from like that sparkle of the gemstone all the way back to the person who made it happen.
Right.
To the precious stone cutter. We even talked about how like technology is changing things up.
Yeah.
Both in like the actual craft itself and in, actually becoming one of these artisans.
Yeah.
So for you, what's the biggest takeaway here?
And for me, it's just this reminder that even though, tech is everywhere these days.
It really is.
It's everywhere, but there's still something so important, so irreplaceable about, about human artistry, about craftsmanship, that way that a precious stone cutter can use their skill, their intuition to like unlock that hidden beauty in the stone.
Yeah.
That's really something special.
It really is. And it gives like a whole new meaning to that term, like treasured heirloom,
Right.
Knowing that like behind every little facet, every shimmer of light, like there's this whole story of human artistry and precision, and it goes back, who knows how far.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like a legacy passed down, cut by cut.
From artisan to artisan.
Exactly.
And who knows, maybe some of our listeners out there, maybe they'll be the ones, taking this craft into the future.
Right.
Blending that tradition
with
all this new technology.
That's right.
Pretty cool.
It's an exciting time.